Hello Golden Jobbers! Welcome once again to my channel. This is Sir Job and welcome to Sir Job TV. Para sa lahat po ng mga new explorers tsaka newly discovered pa lang po ang aking channel, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for you to be updated with my future videos. So welcome once again here sa aking discussion sa General Filipino Values. So sa lahat po ng mga Filipinos around the world, panoorin niyo po ang video na ito para mas lalo po nating makilala ang ating mga sarili. So we are now here in part number 4 sa ating discussion on General Filipino Values. So for this morning, we will focus our attention on the idea of pagkatitulado, lack of sportsmanship, particularism, Filipino time, and Mañana habit. Welcome to my video number 93. So good morning once again, Golden Jobbers. So today is March 6, 2021 and today is Saturday. So kahit anong mangyari po, magkakaroon pa rin tayo ng video pag okay po ang situation, and if I have my time, mag-shoot pa rin po tayo ng video. So we are still here sa General Filipino Values ng ating discussion. So the number 16, kasi this is a continuation from the third video I released from this particular topic. So number 16 would be pagkatitulado. Ano ibig sabihin ng pagkatitulado in the Philippine context? Okay, when we speak of pagkatitulado, the Filipino looks up to people with high education. Okay, he values the acquisition of titles and degrees to improve his or her lot. Highlight natin sa statement given, Filipino looks up to people with high education. Diba, as you observe in a society, ang taas ng tingin natin sa mga taong merong nakadagdag sa kanilang name na attorney, professor, doctor, engineer, or whatever. Usually, yung mga nasa white-collar jobs talaga ng mga people, ang taas ng tingin natin sa kanila. At some point, nagiging negative ito sa ating interaction. Kasi ang respeto ng tao ngayon, nakabase na sa kung anong titulo niya sa mundong ito. Usually, ito po ang nangyayari. Okay, pag nasa blue-collar job ka lang, and then wala kang masyadong natapos, medyo hindi ganun ang respetong ibinibigay sa iyo. Na-discuss ko na po ito sa inyo, i-recapitulate ko lang. Okay, pero pag meron kang dagdag sa pangalan mo na attorney, doctor, professor, engineer, or any other professions na na-surmount mo or na-achieve mo sa buhay, iba ang respetong natatanggap mo sa tao. And I know that you observed that one. Ito po yung konsepto ng mga Filipino, because when we are speaking of pagkatitulado, this is connected sa ating discussion sa previous video na pagmamayari. Meaning to say, we are putting high regard on the achievements of one's person. Okay, ako, I have also my respect sa mga taong ito. Kaya lang, minsan sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa video ito na naging attorney na, naging doctor na, naging engineer na, I hope that you will also have to take it na hindi kayo above from the rest of the people. Kasi may mga ibang professionals po na tinitingnan po nila ang kanilang sarili as above from the rest, no? Na sila po ay superior and the others are inferior in the interaction. So nagiging ganun po. But as far as Philippine context is concerned, napaka-high regard po ng mga Filipino when it comes to titles. Kaya lahat po, almost ng mga Filipinos, talagang ganito po ang kanilang goal, to achieve na magkaroon po sila ng titulo sa kanilang mga pangalan. But take note lang po, sana kunin po natin ito, as I said, with all the sacrifice na ibubuhos natin dito. Kasi may mga iba po kasi they are paying for someone, no? They are doing something na mas mapabilis, no? Ang kanilang pagkuha sa mga title na ito. So hoping po that Filipinos who are watching right now, walang masama sa pangangarap po ng mga titulong aking nabanggit, no? Pero dapat paghirapan po natin ito, pagsikapan po natin ito. In order for us na pag narating natin ang mga titles na ito, magiging productive tayo as a citizen. Hindi yung doctor ka, hindi yung attorney ka, hindi yung kung ano man ang mga narating mo, pero wala kang alam, no? Sa kung ano man ang title na naka-attach sa pangalan mo. So hopefully you will have to take that as a positive advice coming from me. Okay, let's proceed to number 17, which is the lack of sportsmanship. Na-observe ko rin ito sa mga Filipino, and even ako sa sarili ko, this is also what I observe for myself. Okay, when we speak of lack of sportsmanship, the Filipino places high regard in victories or success in sports and other competitive endeavors. Okay, highlight natin, Filipino places high regard in victories or success, okay? In sports and other competitive endeavors. Kaya nga sinasabi nila, pag nagkaroon na ng Miss Universe pageant or any other competitions internationally, sinasabi talaga sa mga national TV or mga international TV na ang mga Filipino daw ang best crowd in the world. Okay, kasi best in supporting actors naman talaga ang mga taong mga Filipino. Napaka-supportive nila sa mga ganitong event. Okay, because we really want to win in any competition na sinasalihan natin. We really want to bring the bacon to our motherland, something like that. Okay, he feels disgraced and shamed once he loses or fails. Ito naman po ang negative side ng mga Filipino when it comes on this particular discussion, na pag natalo, okay, palakpakan pag nanalo. Okay, sobrang saya, halos magsabunutan yung mga Filipino pag nananalo yung kanilang pambato sa international competition. Pero pag natalo naman po, okay, we feel disgraced and we feel shamed within ourselves na hindi tayo nanalo for that particular competition. Okay? And I think na-observe nyo ito. Ang daming mga negative na nagsusulputan ng mga linya, and even myself, ganun din po ang aking reaction no, sa mga situation ganito. No? Because we have high regard sa victories and success. We are not thinking na in a competition, meron talagang nananalo, meron din natatalo in a given setup, something like that. There is a tendency to sulk and offer all sorts of excuses for defeat, okay, which he considers as a dishonor. Kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, ang daming mga nagsusulputang mga version. Hindi siya magaling, hindi siya nag-prepare, wala siyang enthusiasm, wala siyang goal na manalo talaga. Kaya ganun ang naging situation ng kanyang performance. Kaya ganun ang naging outcome ng kanyang performance. So something like that na binubulalas natin after the defeat of our representatives sa international competition. Something like that. Kasi we are always looking forward na mananalo talaga yung ating pambato. But we don't know kasi may mga situation na hindi talaga ganun ang nangyayari. Okay? But Filipinos, common ito, and I hope that we'll listen this kind of thinking na ang always lang nating kino-culture is dapat manalo yung ating representative. We always have to consider the situation, no? May mga pagkakataon talaga na hindi natin nasusungkit ang corona, ang mga trophies, medals, or whatever. This is connected also to hiya or shame na i-discuss ko na po sa inyo sa previous video ng channel na ito. Meron kasi tayong hiya or shame. So, ibig sabihin, pag natalo yung ating representative, parang we feel like disgrace. Yeah, yung sinabi ko kanina, we feel disgraced and shamed pag hindi nanalo yung ating representative sa mga international competition. So, grabe yung pressure, no? Grabe yung pressure sa ating mga representatives. So, I have to clap my hands to all those brave representatives ng Philippines talaga sa mga international competitions. Kasi pag hindi kayo nananalo, talagang you have to expect negative things coming from the mouth of the Filipinos. This is reality, okay? So, number 18 would be the concept of particularism. When we speak of particularism, this refers to the Filipino attitude wherein he prefers to be loyal, okay, to a particular group or center his concerns on a particular group rather than the nation. Correct. This is observable. Historically speaking, masasabi natin na na-develop talaga ang konsepto ng particularism sa ating bansa. Because noon kasi, before the development of nationalism sa ating country, nagkawatak-watak po ang mga Filipinos. Meaning to say, hindi po natin na-identify ang ating sarili bilang isang nation, bilang isang Filipino. Wala pong ganong concept before. Kaya lang, yung idea na yun, especially yung the concept of the divide and rule ng mga Spaniards dito sa atin, yung konsepto na yun, naidala natin hanggang sa generation ngayon. Ito yung sinasabi sa particularism, okay? We are only focusing on the specific group. Kung saan tayo nabibilang, we are not thinking already na we are Filipino, even sa generation ito. We are always looking ourselves as part of Mindanao, as part of Visayas, as part of Luzon. Kaya nga nagkakaroon ng gap talaga. Even until today, there's still a gap between the Mindanao and Luzon people talking about. Okay, so something like that we have to recognize kasi Noon pa po yan. So, dapat tapusin na po natin ang konseptong ito. We have to focus our attention on the welfare of the entire Philippines at the end of the day. Concerning, okay? But the concept of particularism states that we are giving preference or we are only loyal to the kind of group that we are being part of. Okay? It gives rise to the concept of regionalism, nepotism, tayo-tayo system, and the we feeling. Ito po yung konsepto ng particularism. Okay? Again, the concept of regionalism, this is connected to the concept of regionalism, nepotism, tayo-tayo system, and the we feeling. Okay, ng mga Filipino. So I hope we have to end up also this kind of thinking. We have to think as one Philippines, as one country. Okay? Kasi Filipino ka eh. So you are part of this particular country. So we have to think for the welfare of the entire people of this particular nation. So number 19 would be the concept of the Filipino time. This is very common to all the Filipinos in the entire world. What does it mean when we are speaking of Filipino time? This is an aphorism to indicate the Filipino attitude on always being late at an appointment, time, or place. Isa ako sa mga talagang affected. When we are talking of Filipino time, highlight po talaga ito always ang konsepto ng Filipino time sa mga Filipino. Okay? Because nagsiset ng time ng 6 a.m., darating ang isang Pinoy 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. May extension talaga yan. I don't know what's wrong with that, pero yan ang naging kultura talaga ng mga Filipinos when it comes on Filipino time. Pero may mga kakilala ako that they are still giving preference talaga, high regard on the concept of Filipino time. Na kung ano yung nakaset na time, they would always have to go with that particular time given. Something like that. So I have to commend with them. Kasi kasi seldom na lang po natin nakikita ang mga taong ito because usually sa mga Filipinos, ang kultura talaga natin is always late at a given time and place na nakaset up sa ating schedule. Okay? For the Filipino, ito na yung reason. For the Filipino, time is a succession of moments without a starting point nor an end. Kasi sa mga Filipino daw, they are always thinking na ang oras po is a cyclical in manner. Meaning to say, umiikot ang oras ng walang katapusan. So, kung ano man ang mangyari, at least I could still be able to I could still be able to meet the person na nakaschedule for today kasi cyclical naman ang oras. Meaning to say, hindi naman siya nauubos at hindi naman siya natatapos according to the concept of the Filipino time. Okay? But we have to reflect on this one kasi this is also a social cancer. Meaning to say, sakit ito ng lipunan na hindi po natatapos at nasusolusyonan even before. Problem po talaga ito sa Philippines. The concept of the Filipino time. Pinoy starts when he wants and ends just the same. Meaning to say, there's a concept of the Filipinos that they can control the time. No, meaning to say, they can start, okay, when they want to start the activity or something like the task given and they have also the power to end up that particular task, no? So something like that, meaning to say, according to the version of the Filipino people, kontrolado natin ang oras, okay? Kung hindi ko nagawa today, well, there's another tomorrow that I could be able to finish this particular thing. Unlike with the other culture, ako I appreciated, I think na-mention ko na po ito sa aking previous vlog, the concept of the Filipino time ng mga Japanese people, grabe talaga yung expression nila when it comes on the concept of time is gold. Really, nakikita ko yan and I observed that once sa mga Japanese people. As I discussed to you nung sa aking mga previous vlog that I attended a seminar na kung saan it was actually managed by the Japanese people. So, nung nag-set sila ng 8 a.m. to start the seminar, wala pa ang ibang speakers but they started really the seminar. Pero dito sa Philippines, hindi po talaga magsisimula ang lahat kung hindi po kompleto ang mga speakers at for example. So, ang dami mga waiting moment ng mga activities here in the Philippines. So, Filipino time, no? If we are going to explain concisely yung expression ng Filipino time, talagang we are always late, no? So kaya sa economy, sa progress, and everything else na mga development ng mga nations to nations, in comparative to other nations, always ding late ang ating development here in the country. So I hope that in the years to come and in the generation to come, we could be able to change. At least we have to lessen this kind of thinking and of course these practices. I also have to remind myself this one kasi this is also my practices and this is also what I have done with myself. So napaka negative niya kung iisipin natin. So we have to change, okay, the concept of the Filipino time. So number 20 would be the concept of Mañana habit. So when we are speaking of Mañana habit, it refers to procrastination, okay, the disposition of shelving off responsibility to another day. Highlight natin. Okay, meaning to say, pag pinaikli natin or in the simplest form, pag sinabi natin Mañana habit sa ating language here in the Philippines, ito po yung mamaya na habit. Okay, meaning to say, kung meron pang malaking time, if there's an ample time given, for example, lang teacher for a certain task, okay, yung isang estudyante would always have to take that idea na, okay lang, 1 week pa naman yan isasubmit or 2 weeks pa naman yan isasubmit. Pero nung gumising siya one morning, deadline na pala. So, of course, ginawa na naman niya in a blink of an eye or 24 hours, 48 hours ang activity. So, in short, hindi po talaga siya perfect at wala pong quality yung output na na-submit kasi hindi na po niya ginawa ahead of time. So, ito po yung konsepto ng Mañana habit. Meaning to say, we are not working ahead of time with the activity given to us. Okay? The tendency to escape from duty and obligation as much as possible. Okay? So, as I explained to you kanina, pag malayo pa ang deadline, hindi pa talaga gagawin ng isang Filipino yan. Maghihintay siya na kung saan ang deadline ay 24 hours left na lang, tsaka pa niya gagawin ang activity. It is manifested in the expression of sakana, okay? Mamaya na or bukas na lang. Ito yung mga common line na binabanggit ng mga Filipinos when it comes to the execution of the concept of Mañana habit. Again, we have this particular famous expression, sakana, okay? Mamaya na or bukas na lang. Bukas na lang kitang mamahalin, something like that. So, ito po yung mga tao na sa deadline kumakapit. Okay, ako po ay isa sa mga victim ng ganito or nagpa-practice ng Mañana habit. Ang gusto ko po talaga siyang kontrolin na rin sa sarili ko. But usually, ito talaga yung motivation ko rin sa sarili ko. Yung mga tao na sa deadline lang talaga kumakapit or motivation po nila ang deadline. Okay, pag nakaset na po ang date, nagbigay na po ng ultimatum na kailangan mag-submit ka ngayon. So, yan, gagawin mo na yung task mo because nagbigay na ng memo or ng ultimatum ang inyong head na isubmit na ang mga requirements na ito. So, I don't know with that thinking, but talagang may mga tao din po, specifically sa aking sarili, I observed that also na deadline po ang magiging motivation talaga na kailangan gawin ko ito because there's already deadline. Okay? So this is how we are practicing the concept of Mañana habit. This is common to the Filipinos, but this is a negative Filipino values that we hope we could be able to change and we could be able to somehow lessen within our practices. Kasi nasa atin naman po ang pag-change. Ang mga pagbabago po sa mga konseptong ito ng General Filipino Values is nakakontrol po talaga sa atin within ourselves. Hindi because of this particular video, mababago ko kayo, but I hope that within yourselves, you could be able to think na for my self-development na rin, no? For the progress of myself, babaguhin ko siya paunti-unti as to how I have to let go practices under this particular General Filipino Values. So for this morning, we discussed about the concept of Pagkatitulado. Number 17 would be the lack of sportsmanship. Number 18, Particularism. Number 19, we have the Filipino time. And number 20, we have the Mañana habit. So that will be all for this morning. I hope you learned something from this video and I hope that you will share this video to your friends and to anybody else that you think na kailangan ng video na ito. Asahan niyo po that Search of TV will continue to discuss more meaningful discussions, especially in the field of social sciences. Thank you once again for watching. Bye-bye!